There's a million different things you need to think about when you're in class. But what if I told you that if you properly learn how to tie your belt, you're never gonna waste another brain cell thinking about this, and then you can go back to stressing about how you just forgot about the move your instructor has spent the last 20 minutes explaining. I've seen a lot of different ways to tie a belt, some that look super fancy and showy. You're not gonna find that in this video, so you can go waste the next 5 hours of your life doom scrolling TikTok if you wanna see that. But in all seriousness, I do encourage you to try to find a few different knots and find what works best for you. In this video, I'm just gonna show you the knot that I was taught when I was a brand new white belt. The one thing that's gonna make a big difference in your frustration level when you're first learning how to tie your belt is whether your belt is a standard weave or a pearl weave. I am no belt making expert, so I can't get into the science of that, but to keep things simple, think about it like this. A company can use the same raw material of cotton, but their weave pattern is going to determine the strength, stiffness, and the look of your belt over time. So why would you choose one weave over the other? Well, there's a few things to consider. If we zoom in really close here, you're going to be able to see a very small difference between the two. This right here was my very first white belt. It has a standard weave. And this is my newest belt. It has a pearl weave. At first glance, yeah, they look really similar, but these tiny little dots here are how you're going to be able to tell if it's a pearl weave or not. The standard weave is going to be more flexible and bendy when you first get it. It's super easy to learn how to tie your belt with this because it's not ultra stiff. But just so you know that it's going to break down and loosen up quite a bit faster than the pearl weave will, especially if you're washing it multiple times a week. The pearl weave will be a lot stiffer when you first get it, which may make it more difficult when you're first learning how to tie your belt. Actually, my first thought when I first got this belt was, how the hell am I going to tie this thing? It's so stiff. It may take some time for this pearl weave to break in, but it's going to hold up a lot better over time. This belt is going to stay looking a lot newer for a lot longer. And that's what this channel is all about, getting subbed in style. Speaking of that, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, well, first of all, where have you been this whole time? But also, hit the pause button right now and go subscribe. I'll wait. I swear I'll get to tying the knot here shortly, but there's one thing to consider. Is it better to have your belt stay tied, or might there be an advantage to having it loosen up or completely fall off during a roll? Someone brought this up to me recently, and at first I was thinking, don't ruin everything I've ever known to be true. Since day one, I was under the impression that I wanted my knot staying nice and tight so I'm not constantly fussing with it. But maybe it's not such a bad idea to have your belt loosen up, especially in competition. That way your opponent has one less grip on you. It's an interesting idea. I don't know what's right or wrong. Maybe go ask your instructor what their thoughts are. Okay, enough chit chat here. Let's go out to the mats and I'll show you how I tie my knot. Now I'm going to show you how to tie the knot from two different angles, because you may pick up on a little detail depending on how you're looking at it. So make sure to stick around for both. Because I want my knot to look super clean and I want the tails to be equal on both sides, I'm going to start by holding somewhere in the middle of the belt, and I want both ends of my belt to basically be hitting the bottom of the mat. On the right side, I want to have the black bar, and then on the left side, I want to have the company logo or some sort of branding on my left and also facing outward. Holding it somewhere in the middle of the belt, I'm going to take both hands in the middle, and with my gi tight, I'm going to place it somewhere around my belly button. You can go lower, whatever you prefer. And then I'm going to pull my hands around to my back, crisscross my hands in the back, and bring the belt back to the front. If they're a little bit uneven, I like to kind of shimmy it a little bit, bring it a little tight, so they're equal here in the front again. Now I'm going to start with my left hand, and I'm going to make it flat across the middle here. I'm going to cross my right side over to the left. So now I have 3 layers of belt here. I'm going to take my right hand and pinch all 3 layers. I'll slide my left hand down to the bottom of this tail, And I'm gonna try to keep this as flat as possible. I'm gonna shoot this up through the bottom, and I'm gonna go behind all 3 layers. And I'll pull this up sort of at a 45-degree angle. Will make things easier. I'm gonna pass all 3 off to my left hand, kind of just tuck this away out of the way. I'm gonna grab my right tail, and now I'm gonna go through the 2, sort of like, think of it like a sandwich. You're going through the 2 pieces of bread there. And then you're gonna shoot it all the way down through the middle. Now I'm gonna take the last tail, the right side. Again, trying to keep it straight. This side can get a little bit tricky. If you go the wrong way, it'll make the knot end up looking all funky. So try to wrap it around and come through this here and pull it tight. And now you have a nice, clean fortune cookie knot. So now I'm gonna show you one more time from a top-down angle, sort of as I'm looking at it, because sometimes I find that it's a lot easier to learn when you're looking at it how you will actually be seeing it. Okay, so now here we are from the top-down angle, so you can see me tying the knot like you would be tying the knot. So again, I have basically the center, holding the center of the belt here with the black bar on the right and the logo on the left facing the outside. I'm gonna keep my gi nice and tight here, place the middle of the belt basically right around where my belly button is. I'm gonna pull these equally around behind me, and I will string it back around to the front. I'm gonna hold them out in front of me, equal them out. I'll take my left hand and I'm gonna lay it flat across the front here. And then I'll take my right side and lay it flat across the middle. So now you can see there's 3 layers of belt here. I'm gonna take my right hand, pinch all 3 of them together. I'll take the end of this left side and make it nice and flat and bring it back through all 3 of the layers here and push it up and pull it through at about a 45-degree angle. You can kind of just let it hang off there to the side. I hold it with my left hand over here, and I'm gonna take the end of this tail here and I'm gonna shoot it straight through the middle of these 2 layers here on my left. And I'm gonna shove it all the way down. Now I'm gonna take this remaining tail that's hanging out here and keep it nice and flat. You kind of wrap it, and it does look kind of wonky when you're doing it this way, but trust me. And then you wanna kind of tuck it like that. If you start pulling it through, take both ends of the tail and pull it nice and tight, and now you have a nice pretty knot. I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure to check out this other video where Mike dives deep into the importance of material and quality of a belt. And let me know in the comments if you have a better way of tying your belt. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the mats.